The ability to target chord tones through playing arpeggios is the first stage in becoming a better improviser and creating more intentional and musical solos. In this lesson, I'll be sharing my 3 favorite exercises when working with triad arpeggios. For each exercise, I'll present the basic setup and then ways in which you can develop it in your practice. The first of which I'll say at the start, is to change the root note each time. In my own practice, I have my root of the day, which I will use for all the fretboard visualization exercises. For this lesson, D is my root of the day. The importance of context. Wherever possible, work your arpeggio practice with some harmonic context, whether that is a constant root note, known as a drone, or the chord of the arpeggio you're playing. This makes your practice so much more fun and you'll be correctly hearing the sound of each arpeggio, developing your musical ear. Exercise 1, single string vision. Hands down, the best way to learn anything on guitar is to do so on a single string. You get a deeper understanding of the underlying theory behind what you're playing, being able to literally measure the distance from one note to the next. And it's a guaranteed way to ensure you're never boxed into a vertical scale pattern. So make this a part of your daily practice. Let's begin from the root note on string 2. The exercise will be to play up and down through 1 octave of the major and minor arpeggios. So D up 4 frets to the major 3rd F sharp, up 3 frets to the 5th A, and up 5 frets to the octave root. A useful sequence of frets to remember. +4, +3, +5. Staying with the D root, I'll then play the D minor arpeggio. D up 3 frets to the flat 3 F, then up 4 frets to the 5th A, and up 5 frets to the octave root. The sequence for the minor arpeggio is +3, +4, +5. You develop this by moving the arpeggio to different strings. But as you do so, your aim is to play 1 octave from the lowest available chord tone, i.e. that note which is found nearest to the headstock. Moving to string 1, I need to shift my vision to starting from the 3rd. So the next note is the 5th. Then up 5 frets to the root. Then from there, it's up 4 frets to the octave of the starting note, the 3rd. Be careful as you switch to minor because the first note will now be the flat 3 F natural. From here, I'm thinking up 4 frets to the 5th A, up 5 frets to the root, and up 3 frets to the octave of the flat 3. As you start practicing this, do so on each string from the lowest chord tone. Keep things in free time or bring in a metronome click for more focus. Here is an example of the D root at 100 beats per minute. Keep doing this exercise with different root notes until you can't get it wrong. Exercise 2, exploring the possibilities. This exercise gets you exploring arpeggios across 1, 2, and 3 string groupings and teaches you how the same arpeggio sequence can be played many different ways. Begin by picking out the triad shape formed across 3 strings. Then the 5th moves to the string above for a 1-2 arpeggio pattern. Then move the 3rd for a 2-1 arpeggio pattern. Then finish on a single string. Doing so, you've exhausted all possible root 3-5 combinations. apply for the minor arpeggio, just looking out for the flat 3. You can add the octave root, which will allow you to link the string sets and create extended arpeggio patterns. Once you're confident playing out from the root, the next stage is to try the exercise from the other chord tones. Arpeggios Building Blocks is my comprehensive guide to both triad and 7th arpeggios. With many more visualization techniques, practice exercises, and extensive fretboard charts in full color and printer-friendly black and white, this really is the only resource you'll ever need to master arpeggios on the guitar. I have a 30% discount for you with coupon code YTARP30 at checkout. Hit the link in the description to find out more. Exercise 3, Arpeggios Through a Scale. This exercise ensures you cover all major scale triads, but in a very musical way. The first approach horizontally using the same shape. This first example will use a 1-2 arpeggio shape across strings 2 and 1. The scale through which I'm playing is found on string 2, the D major scale. This scale can be harmonized in thirds on the string below. To these thirds, I'll add the 5th to form each arpeggio shape, and I get D major, E minor, F sharp minor, G major, A major, B minor, and then this. This is the C sharp diminished triad, the triad always found on the 7th major scale degree. Developing the exercise. The second example is to do the same thing, but set the limitation of a vertical scale pattern across the strings. If I use the A shape major scale pattern formed around the A shape bar chord rooted on the A string at the 5th fret. Once again, I'll play through the diatonic arpeggios, that's staying within the scale, limiting my note choice to those within this particular scale pattern. And there are different possibilities when sequencing through a scale. You can always be ascending root 3 5, or you can be always descending 5 3 root, or you can alternate directions root 3 5 5 3 root 3 5. Do this with different scale patterns, different root notes. Do like the video and subscribe if you'd like to see more like this. Practice well, and I'll see you again soon. Maybe try this lesson.